Thomas, how are you, my friend?
Carlos, I'm going good, mate. How are you going?
I'm really good. Just had a Yogo choc chip mix. Quite nice, delicious.
Doesn't it take you back, mate? Doesn't it take
It really
you
does.
back?
They're on special. And I thought, why not? Treat yourself. You deserve it.
They're
You've
glorious.
got a podcast. Do whatever you want.
Are you walking around the house telling everybody you got a podcast?
I haven't stopped telling Keely. When she asked me to do stuff, I said, you know what you're asking? You're asking me to do that for you, and I've got a podcast. Like, come on.
How dare you?
Who are you? And she says, shut up, cunt. And I go, yeah, fair call.
Yeah, pegs you back down there.
Well, doesn't she ever? Furniture shopping the other day brought me back down to earth. I went in open-minded, and I thought, you know what, we'll get something pretty good. My thoughts don't matter when it comes to furniture. The positioning of the furniture, although it does look nice, like I sent you the photo, it's really comfy, quite big. But I also got myself a sneaky recliner for out there, and
Stop.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Tommy, I want to ask you tonight. I want to talk sports movies, specifically American football movies, right?
There's been some belters.
There's been some absolute gangbuster ones, and I want to know. Let's just say, just your top three, right? I'll lead off with.
Can I lead
third? I would love you to lead off. Actually.
Okay, because obviously for me, numero uno, number one, all time, never being beaten. Remember the Titans. That's number one.
Yeah, and that, you know what? Clap that. That deserves clapping because it is the greatest of all time.
It's the greatest of all time.
Herman Boone, played by Denzel.
Yep.
Coach Yost, played by that other fella. I can't remember his name. Ryan Gosling's in it. Peter Jones, D running back, y'all. Louis Lastic, bringing people together. The Rev, Sunshine, Gary Bertier, the captain of the Stars. Full of one-liners, full of good feelings. Oh.
Great.
What a movie. What
the left
a
side,
movie,
strong
doesn't it?
side.
Always left side, strong side.
We talked about this before.
I think it is.
We talked about this before, and it's quality. Great movie. That's my all-time. I think
The best. And you know what? There's not even any argument. I think if you put two and two together, although it's based on a high school football game, that's what makes it more magical. It's the small town story. It's the story of Gary Bertier, racist friends, racist family, racist town, being brought together with a team of black guys they've never met. They didn't want them there, and they just become the best friends, and they become an unstoppable powerhouse football team.
True story.
Julius Campbell.
I love it.
Based on a true story. Gary Bertier, funnily enough, went to the Paralympics for shot put.
He did, mate, for shot put.
Shot put, and then he died. He died in another car crash. The poor bastard. He had an unlucky life.
Oh no, talk about like that's the way to go.
But do you know what? Didn't he get the most out of what he was given?
Oh man, he's great.
His story is a story of motivation, I think.
Yeah, don't give up. Just keep going.
Never give up. Never quit.
So that's numero uno.
I'm going to throw number two out there for you. This is one that not many people... Well, actually, a lot of people know about it. It's starring my man, William Robert Thornton, a.k.a. Billy Bob, as a small-town Odessa, Texas head coach of the Permian Panthers. A little movie called Friday Night Lights.
Yes, not a bad movie, mate.
Not a bad movie, with a star running back, Boobie Miles, going down halfway through the season. They didn't think they were going to make it. End up in Dallas against what you would sort of refer to as a team of fucking monsters. And the rest is history. They lose. Tim McGraw plays a really aggressive alcoholic father, but he gives his son his ring after the game because he's proud of him. Really nice story. Touching. Hollywood ending.
Yes, mate. That's not bad. For me, my number two, right, and I think a lot of people can agree to this, because it has one of the best all-time speeches in any football movie ever, and that's Any Given Sunday.
See, that's my number three.
That's my second. I mean, it's just...
Talk to me. How good?
It's beautiful, mate. It's what got me probably into it, the movies. You know, it's probably the first one I watched.
Wild Willie Beeman.
Yes, mate.
Throwing them down the field.
And I just
doing ads after two games.
Jamie Foxx in it. Just star.
Al Pacino. Jim Brown plays the assistant coach. The Browns' greatest ever running back. Arguably the Browns' greatest ever player.
Yeah.
Plays the assistant's coach in that movie. Great movie.
See, my third, going on to third, it's probably not going to be a popular pick because I love... So, honourable mention for me is The Blind Side.
Yeah, mate, great movie.
It's a great
based
movie.
on a true story.
Yep.
Fellow who got drafted by the Ravens. Great movie. And once again, Tim McGraw's in it, plays a lovely man. Sandra Bullock, my woman. Oh, what Oh.
She did well in that movie. It's a great movie.
Oh.
But my number 3 goes We Are Marshall. That's my number 3.
Matthew McConaughey, the story of the plane going down. What a film!
I love We Are Marshall because I love Matthew McConaughey.
Film.
Matthew McConaughey is one of my favourites.
That's a bit of a tearjerker, that movie, isn't it?
I love that movie, man. I fucking love it.
Bringing a sort of team of leftovers together who didn't die in a plane crash. They all felt they should have died because their teammates died. Really sad stuff based on a true story. Look, I'm going to sort of throw out an honourable mention as well. And I think El Producerino, Mr. Stewart, a.k.a. I Go for Tottenham, a.k.a. King of the Springboks, would agree with me. The Waterboy. True story about Bobby Boucher. Bobby Boucher coming off the bench, loves Mama. Mama was his favourite.
Well, Mama's wrong.
Well, you know what? Mama was not wrong. She was right. And her boy was needed by the world. 31 years old in college. Tackling machine. He's got tackling fuse.
I think we all remember when he came on at half-time and they won the Bourbon Bowl.
That's right. The Mud Dogs won the bowl. You would not ever disagree with Vicky Valancourt.
Oh, my God.
Wow. See, the thing for me is I love The Waterboy so much because The Waterboy was like the first movie that introduced me to the NFL. As like a really small child, right? So that one holds a special place in my heart. It's The Waterboy.
Yes.
And then I would have to say the top 2 would be We Are Marshall or Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Remember the Titans is the greatest of all time. The Denzel, Coach Herman Boone, the speech Coach Yost gives when the referees are being real racist towards the black players and they're trying to stop them from winning so that Herman loses. Oh, they will not gain another yard. Oh, God, it hardens my dick and it gives me chills.
Firm panels.
Let's nice little segue. Tom, let's talk NFL. Let's talk 49ers. Let's talk Bears. Let's talk Rookie of the Year. Let's talk MVP. Let's talk Super Bowl.
Let's talk a lot about that.
There's a lot. You hit me.
I just want to touch on one thing before we get into the NFL, because I know that's going to be a big segment and there's a lot to talk about. But I can't not talk or open this podcast up without talking about Manny Pacquiao getting beaten. I think that's monstrous. I think that's monstrous.
You gas.
And it has to be talked. It has to be touched on.
You gas. Beating.
Nobody saw that coming. Let's be honest. Did you give him a chance? I did not.
No, I didn't.
No,
I did not.
Thought Pacquiao was going to win. And now he's doing the old Deontay Wilder, coming out blaming other shit for losing. He's coming out saying he had leg cramps. Okay, stop bitching. Get on with it.
Have you seen how big Manny's calves are?
Yes, mate, I have.
And he got Jordinas Ugas. That's a good name. Is Jordinas Ugas, is he? Yeah, he is Cuban. That's a very Cuban name. Look, I didn't see it coming. Pacquiao is old. He's getting old. But I don't think many people would have seen it coming.
No,
because he's such a legend of the sport.
It's a bit of a shock. It's one of those fights where it was kind of a filler fight. I think obviously everybody, I think Pacquiao had his sights on other potential fights, and he was kind of trying to get through this one.
Yeah, and he wanted the knockout. I think he wanted the knockout, and to lose via unanimous decision, although the card wasn't explosively big, saying something about maybe it's the end of an era.
Look, I think if we're going to be honest about it, Pacquiao's 42 now, so he's not blistering. He hasn't got that insane speed anymore. I just think it might be his time. You're 42 years old. He's now lost 8 fights. Still, which is an incredible record considering he's won 62. I was working with a fella today that we both know, and he said to me, "Manny Pacquiao's my uncle," and I said, "Bullshit. JC, shut up. He is not your uncle. Just because he's Filipino doesn't make him your uncle." He laughed. I laughed. I sent him home. I was sick and tired of his shit. So JC, stop lying about Manny Pacquiao. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it, mate. We need conclusive evidence, all right? That's right. You can't just throw accusations around. Willy-nilly. Yes. But, I think he might be done, man. And look, if he pulls up stumps, that's cool. What a career, though. If he did, what a career. Absolutely, man. What a career. From a little fella from a village in the Philippines, wow. It's like an 8-time division champion. Went from flyweight all the way up to, I think, welterweight. Guys, do you know one thing I really remember about him, and it's not a nice thing to remember, but I remember when Marquez knocked him out, and I was at a mate's place watching the fight, and I thought he killed him.
because he didn't move. He was so stone cold on the ground. I genuinely thought he died. I was
He
really
was knocked
worried.
the fuck out. His soul
At that
was taken from
punch.
his body.
If you watch that fight and you watch Marquez, he trained purely upper body. Marquez was fighting on 2 toothpicks. He was like just a monster up top, and he had nothing in the legs, and he trained purely for power. And you know what? He got him on the counter, which Marquez did unbelievably well. And boss, see you later, Matty.
Well, I mean,
I thought he died. I
lost-
genuinely thought he died.
He lost the 2 fights prior to that. Let's not forget. Marquez fought him 3
Yes.
times. Marquez lost
true.
the first 2. So the third one was kind of...
One
like
of them was
redemption.
close. I think it was the second one. They were quite
Very
close.
close, yeah. They were good.
They weren't as wide as people think.
No, like they were very good fights, very close fights. Pacquiao won the first 2,
Yep.
but he got it back with that third. But yeah, it could be done, man. Who knows? See where they go from here. Once upon a time, you could have argued that McGregor was probably going to fight Pacquiao, but I don't think any of that's going to happen now.
No,
Neither of them.
I think Conor's gone.
Neither of them are big draw cards anymore. I don't think. I think they're on the.
I don't know. I think Conor would still bring in a crowd.
Yeah,
I think Conor would bring a big crowd in.
Sorry, I'll rephrase. I think they're still being big crowds, but I don't think they're at the peak of what their powers are anymore. I don't
think they're at the peak of their physical powers anymore, unfortunately. Mentally, they've probably still got it, and they still got the ability to draw in crowds, but I don't think physically they can do what they used to do.
Yeah, so I think, who knows, man. He might call time, but we'll see. But, going on to NFL. Pre-season.
One more quick one. How about them D's fighting back from 40 down? That's all I wanted to say. Go on.
Well, mate, I think you... My first minor prem, we'll talk more about it later on, but
Absolutely.
that was a great turnaround.
Let's talk real quickly, Tommy. Let's start with your opinion on who you think is going to be the Rookie of the Year this year.
It's a tough one, hey, because,
there's plenty of options. It's really stacked for options this year.
I'm going to put my thinking cap on because there's probably better players in the draft than certain others, right, in terms of talent. But in the NFL, it's not like NBA. So in the NFL, sometimes, like we've discussed before in previous episodes, that sometimes they can sit for that first year. And so you don't really get to see the true what their true talent is until like the second year. Yep. So I think by going by that and what I know, there's a couple of quarterbacks that probably won't play a lot of games. I think someone like Zach Wilson will play a lot.
Yes, he will. He'll start round 1. If he doesn't start day 1, I'll be unbelievable.
Yeah, so he's going to play more than, say, Trey Lance, and he's probably going to even play more than Justin Fields. But that doesn't mean
I think he'll play more than Mac Wilson as well. I think Mac Wilson will come in after a couple of weeks.
Mac Jones, you mean?
Mac Jones.
Yeah. So I think Cam will start for the Patriots, and Mac Jones may come in to the tail end because I think Mac Jones.
I think I know where you're leading with this, and I think I'm going to agree with you.
However, I think that if I was to pick someone that's going to play game in, game out, and I think he will play game in, game out, I'm going to go with Devontae Smith.
Are you the wide receiver from Philly?
Because I think he.
That shocked me.
No, because I think that he will. I think he's gonna light it up, man. I think he's.
He will. He's a talent. He's
is
long, he's lean, and he's stronger than he looks. He's got a ton of talent. He's straight out of that school of Bama where they win.
Other than that, I'm going to go with Devontae Smith, but that's
a bold call, Cod.
It's a bold call, but if I'm going to very close second, I mean very close second, I'll go Trevor Lawrence.
So he's mine. Trevor Lawrence to me is the ready-to-go package as a quarterback. In college, he looked a class above everyone else. Justin Fields really held his own. I didn't see much of Trey Lance, but from what I've seen in the preseason, I'm impressed with the guy. Mac Jones. I keep calling him Mac Wilson. Mac Jones, playing in a really tough division, as well as Trevor Lawrence, had a lot to offer. But I think Trevor Lawrence, with Urban Meyer at the helm, is going to play this sort of, let's throw the ball, let's get the backs moving around, let's get a lot of movement, let's give you some time. He's going to have a season. I'm going to call he's going to have 4,500 plus yards.
That's a lot of yards.
With the 17th, the 17th game changes everything.
It does, because if you get 500 yards in an extra game, that takes your tally up.
Well, that's right, but you sort of the old average for I think 4,000 yards anyway was about 270 a game, so it wasn't massive. I could be wrong. My maths is shit, but I just think Trevor has the what they call the intangibles, and I don't even know what that means, but from what they say, he's got the size, he's got the speed.
Intangibles mean like how you read the game. It's basically like
so he's got that.
Like
so that's what
IQ.
I mean. He has that.
Yeah.
He's got that inbuilt in his body. It comes through his haircut because God, he's got good hair. The Jaguars I've read today are already trying to offload Gardner Minshew, and he was fighting tooth and nail for that job, but that's obviously not going to be his job anymore. So he's going to get traded out from the Jags. Trevor Lawrence has got a really solid running back core behind him in James Robinson, who got 1,000 yards last year, and his mate from Clemson, Travis Etienne, who they were just 1-2
good
punch
combo
last year.
Yeah.
Really good combo. They got a good core of wide receivers. They got this big bastard. I think his name's Laviska Shenault, out at wide receiver, and they've got their line's got a bit to be. Their line will be what holds them back. Defensively as well, they're okay. But I think Trevor. I would be putting money on Trevor to win the MVP. Sorry, not the MVP, the Rookie of the Year, outside of being injured.
Okay, look, it's a fair argument, and like I said, he's my very, very close second, and I think he will do very well. And especially
yours is a good call.
Yeah,
yours is a great call.
Especially being quarterback, you can dictate the game a lot more. And he's going to play pretty much every game because he's first pick, and he's so much better than anything the Jaguars got. So
I will be really surprised if Urban Meyer stayed at the start of the season, like the preseason, whatever it was, in minicamp, that he would never do what he's seen happen to his old quarterback, Alex Smith, where he was thrown to the wolves too early. But I think Trevor has to play. Laviska Shenault is that guy's name I was talking about. Trevor has to play. He's going to have that town on his back.
Absolutely, mate. I think
DJ Chark's also a good pass catcher. Cam Robinson can block. Their line does nothing for me. Their line is really going to have to pull their finger out.
Well, that's ultimately probably why they were the worst team in football. I mean, they still don't have great defense anyway.
It's not the best. Their defense is looking okay. Miles Jack's the captain. I'm pretty sure he's fairly good. CJ Henderson's good. The safety's a bit pus, but I'm going to go with Big Trev.
Yep.
What about, Tommy, what about your MVP?
This is tough, man, because MVP...
This is tough, this one.
MVPs are so... Because you're picking a player that's going to have a standout year. Right? So they're going to be the best player in the league. But that doesn't mean to say that that player or that team is necessarily going to be the best team. Does that make sense?
Yes,
because there's been so many MVPs, especially in basketball and in NFL, that are the best players in the league, but their team is nowhere near being the best team. It happens all the time. So I'm just gonna pick this guy just because I think that it's the last hurrah and it's the last dance, so to speak. And by saying that, you know who I'm talking about. And I just think that big Aaron Rodgers is going to throw. He's going to throw for a fucking monster season. And I feel
like I wouldn't like him in person. I think he'd be a fuckhead.
Who knows, man? I don't know. He's a strange old cat.
He is a strange.
He loves himself a little bit, but I just think he's going to leave it all on. He's not going to leave anything behind. He's going to just throw it as far as he can. He's going to do whatever he can to try and get the Packers under the ring. There's going to be no fucking running it on fourth down when you're 3 points behind, or going for a field goal when you're 3 points behind. None of that in the championship game. He's going to be going for it. And just because of that, I think he'll will his way to a lot of games. So he'll win a lot of games for them. I'm going
to throw one out of left field.
Look,
mine's coming from left field, and it's just going off what I saw last year and where the team got to. I'm going to go with Josh Allen, quarterback from the Bills.
I don't think that's left field at all, man. I think Buffalo are very good.
He had a great season, and I think he could go to that next level. He has just got some real moxie about him. He's got some real fucking fuck you energy, where he is a winner. He's a big cunt. He runs the ball. He doesn't fuck around. He's accurate, young as hell. He's just got a bit of that go fuck yourself.
Man,
I think he can.
Aren't the Bills good, man?
They are. Jeez, they were shit for a long time.
They
piss poor for so long. Imagine losing 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Look, it's
that'd be a heartbreaker.
It's not a record you want to have, but like I said, being a Collingwood fan, That's like RMO, mate. We'll just get to
I
5
can't
grand
believe this
finals.
story. I can't believe what you told me today.
Oh, it's
Let's talk.
It's crazy, mate.
Let's go Super Bowl teams. Actually, no. Let's drop it back one. Let's go championship teams. NFC first. Who do you think's going to play in the NFC Championship game, and who's winning it?
Well, look, it's very hard to go past the Buccaneers, isn't it? With Tom and
Yes.
and the fact that they've all re-signed. That's a big
All
testament.
22. That has never been done in the Super Bowl era. All 22 starters returning to the team.
So it's very hard to go past them because, yeah, you just got to look at his record, man. He never lets you down. But if I think
who they playing?
That's the thing, man. Packers will be there. Packers will be very good. I think that I'm going to go with a little smoky here, and they're in my conference. They're in my standing, my division. So I don't like to say this because obviously I want 49ers to come out of it, but I actually think the Rams might come out of the West.
That's a good call with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, with
Matthew
Matt
Stafford's a game changer for them.
I think people are sleeping on the Rams. They've got a fucking great defense. Anyone with Donald on their team is an absolute going to have a good chance. I think the Rams are going to be good. So I'll put the Rams quite highly. I don't think the NFC East is that great. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Washington.
To me, that is the worst division in football.
It's the worst at the moment. It usually is pretty
good. The most
good.
disappointing because there's so much history behind all those teams.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So notoriously they are usually pretty good, but right now that division is probably the weakest. NFC North is quite challenging, except for the Lions. The Bears, Packers, and Vikings are always pretty good. And then, the South is fucking... Now that Drew Brees has gone from the Saints, it's pretty much the Bucs fucking division. But yeah, I would say if I was to pick 4, I'll give you my 4 because I really don't know where they're going to go. I'd say Buccaneers, Packers, and then I'm going to say it's either going to be the Rams or the 49ers because I think the 49ers could... We have a squad that has the potential to play in another Super Bowl.
I'm going to give you my NFC Championship game. I'm going exactly the same as you. Not exact same, sorry. I'm going to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are going to go through to the big dance, and they're going to play a little old team out of Arizona called the Cardinals.
I was going to say Cardinals, but I just don't know if Murray's ready to do it.
Well, he this year has got some weapons still with him. He's got another year on the feet. No quarterback under 6 foot's ever won a Super Bowl, and he's 5'11". He's really quick. They've just brought J.J. Watt in. They've got this guy from Clemson a few years ago who has, I think he's in his second year now, Isaiah Simmons, playing linebacker.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins there. I don't know if Larry's still around. I think Larry may have retired.
Larry's retired now, yeah.
But they've got something about him. I think Murray is a really talented player, and the defense now with JJ and Chandler Jones on the same team is gonna be hard to get by because they're gonna be rushing everyone. And I think that to me looks like it may be the NFC Championship game. Could be wrong. Doesn't matter. I think the Bucs will go through though. Tom will be too good. If Tom wins and plays again, or if Tom even gets there again, Jesus Christ, give someone else a go, big guy.
Well, I mean, there's no discussion already, man. He's already far the GOAT. It's not even
the
close.
GOAT.
But if he does it again,
he should change his name to Billy, because he is the Billy GOAT. The AFC. This one for me is
this one's
more open because I think there's a lot better teams in the AFC than there is the NFC. Who do you think? Who have you got?
Yeah, mate. You are correct in what you say. There probably is more competitive teams. I think that there's better teams in the NFC in terms of like the top teams, but I think that the AFC is more competitive. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good call.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
I think the best NFC teams are better than the best AFC, but there's more teams in the AFC that can beat you than what. Like we were talking about those dud fucking divisions. Like the NFC East is useless. The Lions are useless. Stuff like that. But it's very hard to go past the Chiefs. They haven't got any worse. They're going to have a little bit of a vendetta, trying to win that Super Bowl against the Bucs.
Do you think people may start figuring the Chiefs out, or do you think Andy Reid as a head coach, and I think he's their play caller, has the ability to change his game yearly to sort of.
I'll say this: I think that you are right that they will start to figure the Chiefs out, absolutely. But
they got a lot of weapons, all over the park.
Yeah, they've got the fastest man that's ever lived as a wide receiver,
Josh Adokar.
Yeah, pretty much in Tyreek Hill. They got the best tight end almost to ever do it. You know, he's up there in the conversation probably.
Yeah.
And then they've got arguably, I mean, this is a big call, but they've probably got arguably the most talented quarterback that's ever lived. In terms of talent, I'm not talking in terms of being the greatest. I'm talking in terms of talent. Mahomes
he
maybe
does
the greatest
show
thing,
it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he may be the greatest thing.
He's so young.
He's so young. So just for that alone, I think when you've got those weapons and you've got someone like Mahomes, I think that it might not matter what they throw at you. They're just going to figure it out. So I think I can't go past the Chiefs. And then,
you know what? Patrick Mahomes, he'll break the record for yards within by a mile, especially the 17 games, and he'll smash the touchdown record within the next couple of years. They'll be his to own forever because he'll go big. I think, and this one may shock you, I don't have the Chiefs in the big dance. I think they're going to have a little bit of hangover from being in. I think they've been in 3 in a row now.
They've been in 2. They've been in 2 back-to-back Super Bowls, but I don't know if they've been in 3.
Maybe they've been in 3 championship games in a row.
They may have been in 3 championship games.
I am going to have now. This one's. I think my call with Josh Allen is going to be.
Well, you didn't let me pick the other. You didn't let me pick the other team.
Sorry, I've butted in. I'm a fucking mongrel.
So I was saying the Chiefs, and I was going to pick the Bills. Chiefs
there you go. I've stolen the words.
The only other team
right out of my mouth.
The only other team that I think may come close to it is I actually think that Carl Davis and Howell might be happy about this, but I think the Browns might do something.
Yeah, he would. Do you know what? He gave me a stat today, Kyle Davison Howe, our resident stats man, and he said to me that since 1991, the Cleveland Browns have had 642,118 fans in their stand. And I said, where did you get that stat from? He said, I just made it up. I said, well, thanks for fucking nothing, mate. Good on you.
That can't be
shove
true.
Shove your stats up your ass. I'm sick and tired of you, Kyle Howe. but he's a resident stats man. He just comes up with everything.
Well, he loves the Browns too. I mean,
he loves Baker. He loves Baker. And
you've got to be.
And you know what? Baker's hard to dislike. He's a gunslinger. He's got a lot of Brett Favre vibes about him.
Look, at first, I kind of when he broke in, I thought he had a bit too much attitude for not enough skill. But boy, he's proven.
Have you watched his college highlights where he's grabbing his cock and telling people to get fucked?
Yeah, he's got.
He's you know what? If he was your quarterback, you'd love him. If you played against him, you'd want to smash his face in.
He's one of those. Yeah, so
he's a Michael Ennis type.
Yeah, you just hate him, but yeah. Nah, he's good.
I like him. He's got bravado. I quite enjoy him. I like his bravado. I like his moxie.
So that's what I'm saying, man. I'd say the Bills or the Browns, but probably the Chiefs as well.
You know, because I was so rude, I'll just go with you, the Bills. And this is my other one, is the Tennessee Titans. I think their defense is so strong, right? They've just got Julio Jones from Atlanta to partner A.J. Brown. Derrick Henry, the best running back in the game.
You're just thinking about Henry, mate.
Oh, mate, he's so big. Imagine being his missus. He would fuck the shit out of you. It'd be a nightmare. Not even going to think about it. It'd be like being in prison with him. It'd be a nightmare.
He'd kill him.
But Tannehill, if Tannehill does his job, there's no reason these blokes can't be winners. Because Julio Jones will take so much pressure off A.J. Brown, who in turn will then allow Derrick Henry to run for more yards and more touchdowns, or A.J. Brown is going to be open constantly. And A.J. Brown has got burners. So Tannehill, do your job. Get yourselves to the AFC Championship game. But unfortunately, Derek, and unfortunately, Mr. Tannehill, I've got the Bills going through. And then, to me, it's like the old bull taking on the young bull. So Brady from the old AFC East, I think, or North, or wherever they're from. I think it might have been the East, playing against his old Bills. He's going to have their number. And Tampa Bay is going to take out the Super Bowl twice in a row.
So you've gone Tampa Bay versus the Bills.
Yep, and Tampa.
And you think Tampa are going to win? I'm going for my Super Bowl. I'm going to go Tampa Bay. And I'm going to go Tampa Bay versus. I'm going to say Tampa Bay versus Chiefs.
Again, back to back.
And I think
What a game.
And I think this time, I can't. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think that Brady will win again.
It's so hard to bet against them.
I can't bet against him. Why would
How
you?
do you bet against a proven winner?
You can't.
It's like backing against Winks. Like you go, oh, Winks is running. Okay, let's bet for any other horse. Fucking not. The man's a stallion. He's a fucking winner.
It's proven, mate. You got to look at his track record. There's no evidence to say to me that this guy's not going to be able to get it done. So
do you know? You look at his life from the outside, right? Big house, lot of money, supermodel wife, great footballer, greatest of all time, handsome bloke, gets better looking all the time, really good head of hair, in fairly decent nick, has heaps of jewellery because he keeps winning. What do you reckon, like, his downsides are? What do you reckon is bad about that guy?
Well, usually,
Do you think anything? Do you think it's anything? Or do you think he's just an all-round winner?
I think he's an all-round winner. And, like, you know, you talk about, like, MJ, for example, right? So he was such a winner, but he had that because he was so addicted to winning, he could be a bit
And he was
bastard.
a gambling addict, though. And he was a gambling addict.
He was a bit of a gambling addict, but he had so much money, so it didn't really
Imagine if Tom was like a
But
secret, like, drug dealer or something, just on the side, just to spice up his weekends outside of football.
He might have a
has to
small
some-
pimmel.
Schmoll Pimmel.
Maybe.
No, there's no way
Who
he's
knows?
keeping Giselle. He is not keeping Giselle with Schmoll Pimmel.
Have you seen that movie Ted where they lift up the sheets and there's just this gold bloody thing shining out?
Do you know what? He probably has a golden penis. The man's got everything. He's probably got encrusted like tattoos on it and everything. And Schmoll
I don't know,
Pimmel.
man.
No, there's no way. It's
he's-
big, it's thick, it's juicy, it's everyone. There's no way.
He's got confidence, mate. He's got confidence.
Yeah,
But-
he does. He's got swagger about him. Remember, did you see him drunk on the boat the last year throwing the fucking Super
I
Bowl
mean, like,
trophy?
he's at that point now. He's like, I've got 7 of these fuckers. I don't care. I'm just gonna launch it.
He doesn't give a flying. And you
Doesn't
know,
care, mate.
I really love the bloke. I think
So do
he's
I.
a great guy. My
think he's
brother-in-law hated him. Went to Tampa Bay, loves him.
That's how it goes.
Loves
isn't
him. But he hates the Patriots though. Oh, he hates. Loves the Cowboys. Likes the Dolphins. Real soft spot for the Raiders.
How can you love the Cowboys? What a human.
Oh, because from the night he started going for them in the 90s when they were big. Emmett, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. You know,
Well, I'll give him a pass.
America's team. He loves America too. The big fella.
It's like a little segue into our next topic. I reckon it's like LeBron. I respect LeBron.
Yes,
Don't get me
Andrew,
wrong.
I want your opinion in here. We're going to talk Lakers, Tommy. Are we going to talk Lakers?
We will talk Lakers. I'll say my point. I respect LeBron for everything he's done for the game and his points and whatever. But I just can't like him. Like, I don't know what it is.
Not even in the new movie.
I haven't seen Space Jam. Like,
Space
I really
Jam Deuce. Did you see Space Jam 1? Tell me. Come on.
Space Jam, the original Space Jam, is pretty much the reason why I love basketball.
That's my third favorite basketball movie of all time.
You know what I mean?
That's not basketball movie. No, Space Jam. What a film. MJ, great golfer as well. Really good golfer. But go on. Go back to LeBron.
Natural athlete.
Good baseballer.
Like, I don't have anything against LeBron, but I can't seem to love him. I don't wish bad against him, and I can admit the fact that he's probably the greatest player in the world. But I
It's
can't.
proven over a period of time.
I don't know if it's because I love MJ so much that I can't like LeBron that much better. Does that make sense? I don't know, but
Andrew, the El Producerino, LeBron's with your Lakers, your beloved Lakers. How do you feel about LeBron?
I'm pretty much the same as Tommy. I think LeBron is a fantastic player, and no one can question his work ethic.
Correct.
I mean, the guy's a freak. He's barely been injured his whole career.
That to me is outrageous. It's like Cameron Smith, right? Cameron Smith is either loved or hated with rugby league. He was never hurt. He was never injured. Some of these greats just for some reason don't get hurt.
LeBron's managed his games though.
Yeah,
But you know what? To his benefit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can't say it's hurt him. It's probably hurt some crowds that paid to go watch him, but
Yeah.
the only thing I don't like about LeBron is how he goes to a team and he blows up the roster.
doesn't he?
He just
he
takes
turned this one
control.
into a retirement home. What's your thoughts on the Lakers retirement village?
Well, I just think they're going for one last hurrah. I mean, Anthony doesn't have a ring, and he wants to get one, and he's from that draft.
2003. What a draft too.
Fantastic draft. I just
2003.
think, like, the Lakers, like, they bungled, like, they had so much money into Kobe, and Kobe kind of screwed them over for the last couple of years he was playing there. But I mean, he was Kobe.
That's right.
And then they had all these picks, man. Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball,
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram, Kuzma, and like, what?
Do you reckon Kuzma's a bit of a myth? I don't really like Kyle Kuzma that much.
But like, what are they going to do once LeBron goes and Westbrook goes and Anthony goes? Like,
Dwight Howard goes.
Going to leave them?
AD goes. Do you?
I mean,
there's no
AD's
way
the
AD.
only one, like I assume the plan is to build a team around AD.
But do you think he'll stay in? Do you think he'll stay there after he's had his tenure with LeBron and everyone else, or do you think he'll go somewhere else?
Well, he might
fill another hole in another puzzle.
LA has such a the Lakers have such a pull just in the brand itself.
Yeah,
and
they would have. They would be
LA.
top. Surely they're top 3, like, teams to go to if you're a basketballer. I would assume it would be the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Bulls. The Bulls haven't really got that pull anymore.
Not anymore. Bulls don't have.
But from the 90s, they did. But no, the Celtics and the Lakers have great pull for players.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, they do. They're the 2 biggest organisations. It's not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
There are some other teams that have bigger pull now, like other teams in California, like Golden State.
Golden State, that's right. But that's because they've had such a fucking run.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they're going to be smokies this year with Clay back.
I think they're going to be smokies, especially if they can get Ben Simmons.
Do you reckon, just quickly on Golden State, this is mainly on Steph Curry, do you think he's the greatest point guard of all time?
I think he's the greatest shooter of all time.
All-round shooter, you think?
Do
you think is he the point guard that changed to sort of let's shoot deep? Is he the one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
he's so accurate too.
He's the greatest shooter that God's ever created. Literally. There's no better shooter that has ever played the game than Steph Curry. He is flat out.
What about the guy from American Sniper? That cut was popping skulls from a distance.
What's his name? What's his name? Oh, what was his name? Kyle.
Bradley Cooper or Chris Kyle?
Chris Kyle. That's it.
Bradley Cooper.
Not Bradley Cooper.
Oh, God. Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle.
Was the real? Yeah, I was asking which one, the real guy or
Chris Kyle.
Bradley Cooper's just
I bet you Bradley Cooper's not a bad shot either.
Bradley Cooper's just from deep, from 40, just pulling up, throwing bombs.
He's not a bad bloke.
But yeah,
throwing bombs.
Back
That's
to the point.
were doing. They were throwing bombs.
Curry is the greatest shooter. There's no doubt about it.
I think LeBron, so too.
I'd like to throw this stat up for you guys, and this is why. And I know that me and Carl sort of already agree on who's the greatest ever. I'm not entirely sure who you think.
If you're talking about Michael, it's yes.
But I just want to throw this stat up to you guys, and I didn't even know this until I just looked at it. How many times in his career, LeBron James, do you think that he's averaged over 30 points?
Per season or per season? How many seasons have you been around?
He's
2003.
He's into his 18th year.
I'm going to say 11.
11? You reckon 11 times? So out of 18 years, he's done 11?
I reckon it's less than that.
What do you reckon, Trig?
I don't know, I'll say 8.
8. Okay. So LeBron James, who's, the discussion as being the GOAT, let's not forget, we're talking about the GOAT, has only averaged 30 points twice in his career.
Holy fuck.
Twice. So
that shocked me. That's
season,
almost blown the Pepsi Max out of my chest.
Over a season, he's only averaged 30 twice in 18 years. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know about y'all, but to be the greatest of all time to ever do it, you've got to have more than 2 seasons as averaging more than 30. I'm out of here. End of discussion. Let's talk something else. That ain't even close to me. Now, yeah. he's got rebounds, assists, and he does a lot on that end. You know, he's had seasons where he's got like average 10 assists, average 9 assists, average 8 assists. He's the all-round player. I get it. But if you want to be the man, the guy as the people remember, 2 seasons? Come on.
Nah. And you know what? You got to win 6 out of 7, and you got to win 3 in a row twice.
He's won 4 rings, and that's still great. Not many people would have 4 rings, but you've lost 6. You've lost 6. You've lost the same amount as Michael's won. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Like,
How many did Dennis win? What did Dennis win? 5? 4?
5.
Jeez, he was good, underrated, wasn't he, Dennis? Oh.
There's only 11 players in history that ever won 6 or more.
Michael?
Yeah.
Who?
Michael, Pippen, it's just a list. It's like Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Yeah,
Big
Russell. And a lot of all those Celtic players that they won like 8 in a row. So those players that played
Hasn't Russell got 11?
Well, Russell got 11, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a record.
Jesus, that's a lot of wins.
Yeah. It's a lot.
He would have to use 5. He'd have to use both his hands, all the fingers, and his penis for a ring.
Well, there's a photo.
Jesus Christ, you would
There's
need
a photo.
big ring.
There's a
photo.
with him.
Yeah, it's a
Is
famous
it
photo
with
of Bill
him on
Russell.
his penis?
No.
No. He's got 2 rings on one finger, I believe.
He's
got all his
need a big
fingers,
ring
yeah.
if you're going to put it around his penis, because I'm telling
Well,
you.
he's pretty much the guy that stopped Wilt from having all the championships. He stopped them.
Do you know, I heard a story, funny you're talking about Wilt. I heard a story that once Wilt Chamberlain claimed to have slept with 30,000 women.
Yes, he's said that many times.
Now, that's like 4 women a day for like 20 years.
Yeah, look, I think he was a bit outlandish.
Like, if you can work a bit quick maths, that's a lot. Although
Yeah.
he probably did. Because he probably just had like numerous orgies in a day.
Yeah,
like in
but
the
then-
morning,
but then
knock
at the
6 or 7 off. In the night time, another 4 or 5.
But then I've watched an interview with him, and he claimed to have lost his virginity at 5 years old. And I'm like,
Could he even get a boner?
that's what I mean.
Boner's a funny word, isn't it? Isn't a boner a good word?
It's just he's
Oh.
amazing.
It's
To put it in comparison, I just want to compare.
Who took his virginity?
That's who we're comparing it here. So MJ averaged 30, right? On
30 women a day.
what? Points per game.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just talking about because of LeBron and MJ. So
Oh, yeah, go on.
because
My bad.
LeBron
My
had
mind's in the
2.
gutter.
Yeah, two seasons where he averaged above 30. MJ averaged above 30 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seasons out of, and he only played 16 years, so half.
Oh, yeah.
Half his career he averaged over 30. LeBron's done it twice. I mean,
That's nuts.
is this a
I'm all
conversation
in
we have?
on Jordan being the GOAT. Also, because like that era was so much more physical.
Oh, it's so
Very
much more
physical.
harder.
Yeah.
So much more
Savagery.
harder.
It was savagery.
But this argument is the same. Like people are going to argue about this to the end of time, just like the Messi Ronaldo argument.
Tommy and I have had this discussion so many times, and I think, in a roundabout way of saying it, they are both GOATs in a different respect. Messi is the greatest dribbler, skill player of all time. Ronaldo, physically and testing the waters, is the GOAT. Would you agree, Tommy?
Well, yeah, to some degree. I kind of know what you're trying to say.
Like, because if you were to put Messi versus Ronaldo in a skills competition, I'm going to pick Lionel every day of the week. But if I'm going to have the big bastard Ronaldo heading balls, going all around the world, playing, testing himself in Spain, England, fucking Italy, then in his peak too, he didn't just hang around and run away. Well, even though Lionel hasn't run away to PSG, but Lionel's been forced to a hand. I think Cristiano's probably the best. Lionel, very fucking close.
Yeah, see, I differ on that. That's just
I was
my
gonna say,
You
you
reckon
make a lot
Lionel?
of people angry with that stance.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Messi.
I can,
I've
and you
said-
know what? And I should make a lot of people angry because half of the people will say I'm a fuckwit, and probably they agree.
Oh, look,
and
I
the other
mean-
half will say Cristiano is the GOAT.
Yeah, look, and you're exactly right in what you say, because my dad thinks Ronaldo's the best that's ever done it, but I think it's Messi. Jack thinks it's Ronaldo, but I think it's Messi. So there's people that think that I completely agree with you because he's gone to different leagues and he's been the best everywhere he's gone, and he's a winner everywhere he goes. But I just
Lionel's got the Ballon d'Ors.
Lionel's got the Ballon d'Ors that means something, but I just
Lionel's form changes when he shaves his beard.
I just go by the eye
If you
test,
look at
mate.
Lionel with a beard, yeah, you know what? And it's very valid because it would be honestly, it's like splitting hairs with the two.
It is.
How lucky do you have to be to have the argument to watch them both in the same lifetime at the same time? You've got to be lucky to be able to have that argument.
We're going to be telling our sons when they're older that we grew up watching the two
Greatest of all time.
the greatest to ever do it at the same time. Like usually, there was Pele, then there was Maradona, then you had George Best in there for a period as well. You had all these great players, Zidane,
One at a time. They were one at a time.
and then the original Ronaldo, and then now we've got the two that are the best ever, and they're at the same time. It's very rare, and I mean, Ronaldo says, no, it's myself that, that pushes me on. But Messi has definitely pushed him to be.
Absolutely. And it would be the same the other way around too.
Exactly the same.
If you look at... I think when you look at the two of them, they would subconsciously be aware of what the other's doing at all times. Because if you're spoken about as being the best, but there's another guy who gets just as much of the adoration of being the best, you're gonna pit yourself against him. Like we were saying today, Tommy, when you go to the gym, you want to beat your partner. If you go against yourself, you don't try as hard.
Yeah, it's just natural. You have that little.
I think subconsciously they would be competing against one another all the time, and I think that's why this next World Cup, if one of them win it, it could change it. That could then say, look, that person is the GOAT, because they both haven't won one yet.
Yeah, they're going to be both pushing it.
They'll be pushing it. Yeah, but like Ronaldo is still the fittest man in world fucking football. Look at him; he's in such good nick.
I think
he
like
takes such good care of his body. All he eats is chicken and brock.
That's what I'm saying. I think like these days with health, you're going to see athletes playing a lot longer.
Absolutely, and as they should. And good on them. Play longer because then we get to see more.
Oh, I agree. Did you see at the Euros when Ronaldo did the press conference and they put the Coke in front of him and he moved it and he said only water
no Coca-Cola.
And Coke lost $4 billion off the stock market after that.
That is, you know what?
$4 billion
for one man to say no Coca-Cola. Can you imagine if that happened to like LA Ice? Those cunts would be they'd be bankrupt.
I don't think
Thank
LA
God
Ice
it was Coke.
They don't have the capacity. They don't have the
Thank God it
capacity.
was Coca-Cola, because at least they could handle the $4 billion loss. If it was some poor bastard that was a little bit less, geez, they'd be struggling.
They would be, mate.
But that shows you the power of football, doesn't it? That one man, although arguably the greatest of all time, says no Coca-Cola, that it can then change the entire opinion and take $4 billion out of the stock market for one company. Holy crap.
Power of being famous, eh? I've got a quick question for you boys. I mean, there's a little bit of a question going around in the NBA where it says, who is the best player in the NBA heading into the 2021-2022 season? There's been votes on it. Now, 10 executives have voted on it. One player got
this, Tommy. I saw this.
So Trig knows what I'm on about. One player got 5, another player got 5, another player got 0 votes.
I haven't seen this, but I want to have a guess. The best player in the NBA right now, as a solo man, is Giannis, in my opinion.
So he got 5 votes. So you got half the votes. And then it's split into one more player getting another 5 votes. So nobody else got voted for this. It's only these 2 players.
Giannis and Steph?
No, Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant, easily for me.
I always forget about KD. He's so good, but he slips under the radar with me sometimes.
This is a tough one. This is so hard for me because I love Giannis, and I think, like I said to you many times, I think this guy could end up being the most unstoppable thing that I've ever seen because he's only 26, and if he develops a mid-range and he starts to develop a shot at a consistent jumper and he can pull up, it's game over for me. How do you stop that? But that's Kevin Durant now. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant can pull up from anywhere.
It truly is. He can.
His name on Instagram is Easy Money Sniper. That is accurate. It's Easy Money Sniper. That guy
on his main account when he's not sitting on his burners.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny,
Easy Money M16.
He's just as
hard money Uzi 9mm.
Yeah. But so it's interesting that LeBron James never got a vote. Never got a vote.
Big fat zero.
Big fat zero. So nobody.
Poor LeBron.
Nobody in the NBA, or at least the executives, think that he's the best player in the league. I mean, it's hard to argue right now.
Maybe they're salty. Do you reckon they're salty against LeBron?
I mean, he's gonna be 37.
I don't think they're salty. I think that's just facts.
I think it's accurate. I think it's accurate.
I'm with you. I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of an executive.
I think
see
it's
if
accurate.
They've got any salt against him.
Look, and I can understand.
You're probably right.
I can understand why there'll be some people out there really mad about it, saying that LeBron is still the best. And
good on them. They're allowed to have an opinion. Start a podcast and tell us.
I can understand that, but for me, I'm taking KD. I'm taking KD. It's simple.
I'd love to know Brandon's opinion. Our friend Brandon Lewis. We'll have to ring him one day.
That would be a good. Should I see if I can get him on the phone?
I'd love you to.
I'll just mute myself. Let me Give me one moment.
I'd love to know his opinion on who the best player in the NBA is, because it will be golden. Golden.
He wouldn't even know. Would he even know a player?
Yeah, of course. He's very sports savvy.
Oh, you reckon?
He's like, there's a guy from the NRL who's this like stats guru named David Middleton, and he knows everything about everything that's ever happened on a rugby league field, right? It's just a stats guru. Brandon is that, but for every sport ever in every country.
Well, it would be good then to hear his opinion, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And I want to know.
I'm going to try and get him on the phone real quick. He won't be able to hear you guys, but I'll put him on speaker.
That'd be lovely, please, mate. And then we'll just see. We'll go from there. But I think, no, you know what, Tommy? Giannis and KD to me, he just sneaks under the radar for me all the time, and I don't know why. And you know what? Do you know what I think it is? Because he's very unselfish.
Ooh, I think selfish is a weird one to use.
No, because but like I'm not in a playing sort of style, but like you're right with the unselfish word. It's wrong. I'm sort of thinking he's understated in the media and that sort of stuff. Like he doesn't go out and blow himself up, walking around like Russell Westbrook in weird outfits and stuff. He just comes in, does his job, and leaves.
He's just quiet. Like he comes in, does.
He's a bit like Kawhi. They just sort of comes in, does his job, and off he goes.
I mean,
do you reckon he's a selfish player? I don't think he's a selfish player, man. I really don't.
I don't think he's a selfish player, but I think he's self-driven. I mean, he went to Golden State to win championships. It's easy.
That doesn't make he's selfish.
Yeah, it does, because he could have stayed at OKC and tried to build like Giannis has and tried to build a team around.
Yeah, but I don't think you can build a team that Russell's in, because he's, to me, the ultimate selfish player.
I agree with you, and I'm not disagreeing, but that's another part to the argument. I'm just saying that he has left for his own to win championship for his own goals, and that's fine. He can do whatever he wants. But to say that that is a selfish act, because you want to go win championships and you've decided to go to the best team in the competition to do it. Yeah. So that...
Jeez, you've just shot holes through my story.
Well, because let's not forget, he's gone to a team that was 72-9. They set the record, man. 73-9, sorry. 73-9.
Going that seat like whole season and only losing 9 games. You know, I've seen a stat yesterday, throwing back to NRL, because Jesus, I've got the my brain's ADD as fuck. But Jesse Bromwich has played 269 games for the Melbourne Storm, and he's only lost 69.
That's ridiculous.
That is, he's got a winning percentage of like 74%. That is outrageous.
Well, there was a lot of people at Liverpool, Sadio Mane, until last year, when we lost those 6 games at home. He had never lost a game at Anfield ever since he signed.
Really, Eddie Griffin?
Yep, never, because
he had his teeth. He's had his teeth done.
From the minute he signed, we had never lost a game, and then we went and had all those games last year. Another stat I saw yesterday, which is crazy to me, and this is a player that goes underrated and doesn't get talked about, is Joel Matip has only lost 1 game in 44 for Liverpool.
Wow.
So when he plays, I hope I don't fucking jinx it because we're playing Chelsea next week. But when he plays, you can almost lock it in. But yeah, man. So some people just have those stats. It's those crazy stats, those funny stats. That's why I'll give LeBron credit that he probably has the greatest championship win of all time. I mean, he beat a 3.
Do you think he'll score the most points?
Yes,
absolutely.
I think he will.
Absolutely. He's not even that far off, man. He'll play until he beats it. He's that type of guy. He'll play. I think he's going to play until his son gets drafted, and he'll want to play with his son. Yeah.
That'd be cool, man. Just even to see it, like, that'd be exciting. Good on you, play with his son.
It would be something. But back to Trick's point, they're stuffed after this season or next, because I don't think they're going to win the championship. So that's another talking point I want to talk about is
I don't think so either.
Picks for the title. Really. But just to finish off my point, I don't think they won't win the championship this year, and then they're going to be stuffed for next year because they'll be like, well, we didn't win it, so we don't want to reinvest in Westbrook. Should we, go down? Should we keep David? Should we keep LeBron? Whatever. And then they're going to be trying to think about what they want to do for the future. They're not going to have any assets because they don't have any picks because they're not finishing low enough. And then they're going to have to get rid of players and try to rebuild. So look, the Lakers in a couple of years are going to be stuffed just like they were when Kobe left. So they have not learnt.
Yeah.
They
invest big in one player.
Ultimately, they got a championship out of it. So if you're going to say, well,
people will pull that apart and be like, oh, they won during COVID though.
Well, look, I'm one of those. I think that it helped certain people, and it didn't help others. So when you're in a scenario like
Still
that,
got to win. You still have to win.
you do. But what I'm saying is, I think when you're in a scenario like that, the best of the best, like LeBron James, who's been in those scenarios before in terms of like coming together as a squad, I think that's the type of leader you want, and it worked in his favor that he didn't go to hostile environments. Like he's not going to halfway across to Miami with the crowd against you and in your face, and then you don't have those high pressure clutch shots on the free throw line. Let's not forget this guy at the free throw line is useless, and so he hides.
O'Neal numbers.
He hides from the free throw line late in games because he knows he won't do it. So you don't have all that against you when you're playing in a bubble. But ultimately, you are right. You're still going to win the game, so you can't take it away.
Remember that movie, Bubble Boy? That was a weird movie. Jake Gyllenhaal.
But
the undercut.
Who do you think, if you guys to pick right now, who would you
NBA
say
Finals?
is playing in the NBA Finals, and who have you got to win?
Andrew, you can go first.
I think. I think Golden State will probably be back up there. I mean, if the Splash Brothers are back, and then
and if they get Ben Simmons, they're looking to get Ben Simmons.
Yeah, and then like it's just really like the Bucks or the Nets, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I think the same. Yeah, I've got Golden State and Brooklyn. I think they're going to be, and I think the winner is going to be Golden State. I think they're going to be back to the top.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I don't know.
Golden
I feel
State
like
versus the Nets.
I feel like the Bucks are building something.
I do. I agree. Yeah, hit me.
I'm going to say that the Nets are going to win it this year. I said it last year, but Kyrie went down.
They look unlucky to me. They look unlucky.
Look,
they're so good, but they look unlucky. Like something will happen. Someone will roll their ankle pre the finals. Some cunt will blow out his knee. They just look unlucky to me. They don't look destined to win it.
Or Irving will decide to take 3 months off.
Well, that's the thing. Kyrie's so
Just
fucking weird. He's so weird that he can blow up at any point. But I'm going by... So I'm judging this as everybody being at their best and being fully healthy and be ready to go, right? Now, I know that doesn't always work. But you can't predict what's going to happen. So I'm just judging it as what I'm seeing. And I think that, you know, if you look at KD, he was a fucking toenail away from putting the Nets into the finals. And
that's unlucky because that motherfucker has big feet.
We wouldn't even be talking about Giannis winning a title, right? But ultimately, it doesn't happen. They don't get there. So I think that KD alone with Harden could probably get them to a finals. And then if they've got Kyrie as well, if he's there and he's playing, it's hard. I don't know if you can outscore those three. I really don't. I don't think you can.
I'm going to throw this out there, Tommy, and you've bought it out of me. Wrong again. I can't see it happening. Wrong again. I think they are they're just going to be unlucky. You're right. All those points are right. I just don't think they're going to win the big dance.
Well, look, like I said, you can't predict what's going to happen. I mean, Steph could step on the floor very first game. Clay could come back for his very first game and do his knee again. You don't know. So
could go down with syphilis.
Yeah, I mean, that means you're getting around.
Wilt never got it. Jeez, Wilt must have had some penicillin. Jesus Christ.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't predict.
No, you can't.
Like, injuries and all that stuff. So I'm just going on if all the five are healthy. That's what I'm going.
Yeah, and you know what? You're on paper, if all five are healthy, they're the winners, aren't they? They just you need a bit of luck. I don't care what anyone says. Absolutely. I know you can't. Luck is not a thing you can measure. It's not a thing you can predict. Like, you can predict hard work, because if you're going to put the work in, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win. But sometimes you need that luck. There's a little bit of luck that you need.
This is a great segue for me, because talking about luck, and it brings me to another. It's really, piqued my interest and sparked my brain of thinking about luck in terms of teams winning titles and teams winning premierships. You need luck, and that's what brings me to the Richmond winning their 3 premierships, because they had a lot going for them, and they had a lot of luck at the right times. And you need that. And ultimately, you need luck to win premierships. You need to be good, but you also need luck. And sometimes the top teams, they'll have a player that gets injured, or a player will go down for the season, something like that, or a player gets suspended. And Richmond don't. They had all their players fit at all the right times. Nobody got injured. Nobody got suspended, and they rode it out, and they won 3 premierships out of it. And if you look at it now, like you look at Brisbane, for example, they finished 4th, right? And that sounds good, but they lost Hipwood, who's quite pivotal for the way they play. So they've lost their sort of other aerial target that they go to.
Yeah.
And that might affect them ultimately from winning a premiership. You just don't know. Melbourne, like the Demons, they've got nothing against them. They are first.
Nothing.
They've got the best team on paper in terms of the ladder where they finished, and everybody's fit. So this could be
Gorney's in form, Christian's in form, Salem's in form, Clary's in form, Cozzy's in form. Everyone's in form. Everyone.
This is what I'm saying.
Stephen, May, Lever.
You've been fortunate because you haven't had any injuries to your big stars this year, and it might be the year that it just works out for you. And you need that a little bit. So. You look at Geelong have had, Dangerfield's been banned and injured for some periods of some years that he's played, and things like that. And Port have had injuries and stuff. And then you look at West Coast this year. I mean, they had injuries and they've gone to crap, and so everything happens. And it's the team that can kind of ride their luck a bit, and everything goes well for them. They're the ones that usually make it. And so you look at Melbourne.
What's so impressive then? On the NRL side of things, what's so impressive? We're talking about that. The Roosters have had 65% of their roster decimated due to injury and retiring this year, and they're still coming fourth.
Yeah, that's this year. But in previous years when they've won the premiership, they've been stacked.
They've been lucky, but to stay in fourth with 65% of your roster gone, that to me is amazing.
It is. It's a testament to how good they are.
It's a testament to the coach. It's a testament to everyone buying in. It's a testament to, get in and have a go.
Yeah, but that's how they're like, aren't they? They breed good players. I mean, you like to call them the Broncos of Sydney. They just pinch everybody. So
because they don't have any homegrown talent, and they can get players in on unders all the time because Nick Politis tops everyone's back pockets up with third-party deals. Don't even start me on third parties. But they are, as much as I hate to admit it, they're a fucking powerhouse, and they're really, really fucking good. You can't deny how good they are and how good they have been for an extended period. They're really good.
Why don't you dislike the way they go about it as much as you dislike the way the Broncos go about it? Because
I dislike the way they go about it. They've got a fucking salary sombrero. They can sign anyone. They just bring Sonny Bill Williams back from rugby all the time. They were linked with Aaron Smith, for God's sake. Where the fuck is all this money coming from? When they were linked with Aaron Smith, they still had both the Morrises. Boyd Cordner was still on the books. Jake Friend hadn't retired yet. They have Luke Keary, Warrior Hargreaves. All of these people, they were also on the books, but they're still going to get Aaron Smith from the fucking All Blacks. And he wasn't going to come for a pint of Coke.
No. Well, the cap doesn't exist, does it? It's more of like a soft cap. It's nothing. It's not a hard cap.
For them, it's a soft cap. It's like a soft. It's like a condom for them. It just can do whatever it wants. It just stretches willy nilly.
Exactly, mate.
Just pull it over the head and off you go.
But why them? There's so many teams in New South Wales. You explain to me, why is it just them?
Because Nick Politis is such a good businessman. Nick Politis is such a good businessman with his fingers in so many pies that he has the ability. And what I think he does is he sets players up after football with contacts and with things that'll help them in life.
In the media as well?
In the media. And just he knows everyone. So he will help them post rugby league have a fulfilling life where, sadly, a lot of players, and this is all sports I assume, a lot of players who aren't the best of the best, who maybe play the 50 games or the 40 games and they retire, have no idea what the fuck they need to do because they've just played a sport for their whole life. They haven't got any actual life skills. Some of them, I heard a story the other day about some players who left the Knights in 2015-16. They didn't even know how to pay their own phone bills. These are men who have always had everything handed to them, and I don't think Nick allows it. Nick Politis sets them up for life. So
that's been a good owner, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely. Nathan Tinkler didn't do that. Nathan Tinkler fucked everyone for the Knights.
That's that what you're mentioning there, that's across all sports, isn't there? Some staggering statistic of ex-NBA players that blow their money within the first 10 years.
Absolutely, and boxers, all of them do it, man, because they're young men who are given everything so soon with no guidance. And a lot of these young players, some of them would come from broken homes, some of them come from welfare backgrounds, some of them come from all different sorts of things. And especially in the rugby league arena, because the rugby league isn't the game like rugby or whatever they play in heaven. It's not a private school based game. It's battlers that play rugby league. So it's prevalent there because not all these guys are taught the things. I know I'd say all 16 clubs now, they have youth guidance counsellors, and they make sure that they get into scholarships, or not scholarships, they apprenticeships and stuff like that. But in the past, it's been terrible. Awful.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. But then I think people make a lot of promises to their families and shit like that, and they
absolutely, and they overextend. Like if you're young, if you're fucking 21 on 250k playing footy, and you're going out on the nightlife and someone's throwing fucking bags of coke in front of you, and you can see how it can spiral out of control. We were all young once.
I think a lot of people come out of the woodwork too.
Oh, don't they ever? People that you've never seen before.
Hitting you up.
Hell. The dad comes back with a bottle of milk. Where'd you go to? I went and got the milk. You left 15 years ago, cunt. What do you mean you're gone to get the milk? It's sour. Get out of here.
People be like, remember that time we sat next to each other in 3rd grade? Man, we used to fight.
We used to play the piano together. Shut up. Get away from
me. We were best buds.
Oh, we ever.
Well, we were brothers.
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 Oh, stop it. Wrong again.
Wrong again.
Obviously, we couldn't get Don Lewis on. He must be powdering his nose or...
I think he's on early, so I think
just a quick one, fellas. It's a little topic. We touched on it a little bit before. Just want to know something. It's a little one before we head off and
very
wrap
good.
this up.
Because I got to go pat the boy's ass. He's getting a little bit crazy.
No worries. I just want a quick opinion because we were talking about it a little bit before. I just want a quick opinion on the old C-Mac, the old Conor McGregor's. I want to know what you guys think. Where he's headed. What do you think he's got left in the sport? And do you think he can still turn it around? Or do you think he's absolutely done? Done as a kipper, they would say.
He has, in him, I reckon he's got a lot left to give inside of his brain. Physically, I don't think he can handle it anymore. I think not the last loss to Poirier where he broke his leg, because that was purely bad luck. But the fight before where he got knocked out by Poirier shows to me how far UFC has come since Conor McGregor fought him the first time. He got schooled by Khabib.
Everyone gets schooled by Khabib, though.
Yeah, but everyone gets schooled by Khabib. I completely get that. But he went into that really confident, and he got piss punched out of him. He's been knocked out by Nate Diaz a couple of times. Choked out by him once. I think Conor, although he's still a big draw card, I think he should hang his boots up and go off into the sunset happy. I don't think he's going to win many more fights regardless who he comes up against. And what I would hate to see is he come out and start fighting people who are way below him just to get wins.
Yeah,
I'll push back on you there a little bit.
You go through.
I think so. When Conor came back and fought Poirier that's the second fight. Yeah. So he was in a boxing camp for leading up to that fight, and then they switched. That fight was initially meant to be done for charity, and then they switched it over to the UFC.
Yeah.
So he was in like a heavy boxing camp before switching over.
Yeah. See, but on that though, right? Why, if he still wants to fight professionally, why is he doing charity fights now?
No, because they were trying to raise money for like a COVID relief, I believe. Oh,
okay.
So it
wasn't going to be a proper fight.
No, like he just hit up Dustin on Twitter. It was organised on Twitter, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to organise a fight. You and I can do this." And like they set it up, and then the UFC were like, "We'll do it. We'll facilitate it."
Oh, okay, righto. All right, fair enough. So it was a legitimate fight still.
Yes. So, I reckon apparently leading into this last camp, they knew there was something up with his leg, and they risked it and went in with it anyway. They weren't because
that snap was really gruesome.
Well, they had an MRI on it or something, and they knew it. The injury
like
was
a fracture. So there was a fracture or something.
They knew the injury was there, and they were going to risk it.
So basically, was it like a hematoma? Was it a fracture?
It was the first kick that he threw in that fight. He actually cracked it. The very first kick
it was got like the chip was that may have been like what caused it to go, but like the injury was already there.
He had an injury, but it was that first kick that pretty much
that was like the nail in the coffin. Yeah.
Jesus.
But they knew there was something going on.
Now he needs a nail in his shin.
But
fuck me.
Yeah, you're right. He was in a boxing camp because apparently he was trying to line up the Pacquiao fight, and then that fell through. So he was in a boxing camp and he wasn't training properly and yada yada yada. But I think what is more like if you think about the Khabib fight, he was nowhere near, like mentally he was not where he was, and he went into that fight and Khabib was so much better than him. So
he should have had a tune up. He should have had a tune up.
Then he comes and fights Cerrone straight after, and he pretty much wipes the floor with him. Then he's out again for such a long time. Comes back and fights Poirier, gets knocked out. But he wasn't really like that same beast. Like he was really nice and he didn't care.
That's what worried me about him.
And then he comes back this time and he looks like the goods. And he comes out and ultimately does that thing on his ankle. So it's.
Do you think he would have won the fight if he didn't break his leg?
It's hard, man.
It's hard to tell because Poirier was all over him
it's
in that
tough.
first round.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And Dustin has gotten better and better and better and better since that loss to Conor.
I think the thing was fighting, man, and it's not so much with so with like sports like NBA, NFL, football and all that type of stuff. If you're out for a super long time, when you come back, it's pretty quick to get that rhythm back, right? You don't, and like you can play a game, and yeah, you might be bad, but then the next game you might be really good. In fighting, if you're out for a long period of time and then you come back, you'll get knocked out. And he's been out.
Getting punched in the face is different.
He's been out for such a long time. He's been inactive.
That's what worries me about.
And Dustin Poirier has not been inactive. He's been fighting and fighting and fighting. He's been getting better and better. He's been fighting top tier guys. He's been fighting Gaethje. He fought Khabib. He's fought all these guys that are top tier. Whereas Conor's come back, and let's be fair, Conor's MO is just his power now. He's got nothing on the ground.
Yeah, just use the left.
And if he doesn't,
I love Conor. I love him, but I just
so do I. But if you can get deep into the rounds with Conor, so if you get past the first and the second, you're more likely going to win.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Conor has a terrible track record.
Yeah,
the longer the fight goes on,
he doesn't. Yeah, here's the thing.
Terrible,
I think that Conor isn't elite anymore. I think he can beat the guys that are like 4th and 5th in the rankings and stuff like that.
But why should he? He doesn't deserve that.
No, he does deserve that.
But why should he fight him when he can just go off into the sunset, knowing what he's done? He's the double champ's the double champ. Don't fight anyone else. Just go. Because if you get knocked out by the cunt 4th and 5th, you're just sullying your legend.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So he should ride off into the distance. And
agreed. Yeah.
But he deserves everything he's got because ultimately he's not put in the time anymore. And let's be honest, I don't think he's a good champion at all because he's never defended a belt ever. He's won the featherweight title, bounced. Won the lightweight title, bounced. And then he comes back. He's never defended anything ever. He's the type of guy that gets to the pinnacle because he's chasing, and when he chases and he gets to it, and then he doesn't defend it. He's just left. Oh, I don't need to do that anymore. I want the next big thing. What's that? Oh, the lightweight title. And then he gets the lightweight title. What's the next big thing? Oh, Mayweather. And then he goes and does Mayweather. He comes back.
He threw that fight too.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
He threw that Mayweather fight. He threw it. He had him lined up for some belt or left hands, and he never threw him. Do you know what? Going back to the
I think Mayweather just schooled him.
Oh, Mayweather beat Mayweather is a better boxer, 100 out of 100 times. Defensively, he couldn't handle it, but there was punches in that fight that he held back, and I'm telling you, he held him back with that left hand that he would never have held back in the UFC. It just looked to me.
I don't know.
I don't think that Conor was ever going to win that fight, right? And I'm not saying he was, but I think there was moments in there where he could have really unleashed with the left, and he didn't do it.
You know why? Because I don't think he knew what he was doing.
I think that fight went exactly how Mayweather wanted it to go.
Mayweather was never going to lose. He was never ever going to lose that fight.
Mayweather put him into positions, right, where he would turn or he'd turn his back on him and he'd cover his head, and you're not allowed to hit in the back of the head. And
I know
Conor
you can't
doesn't
hit in the back of the head.
Yeah, Conor doesn't. But in MMA, you turn your back on someone, you're getting sparked out.
But you watch him in MMA,
and so he's holding his punches back because he doesn't know, should I hit him now or should I not? Like, he doesn't know the ins and outs of boxing.
I don't know.
Whereas,
to me, it didn't feel right when I watched it.
Look,
I knew he was never going to win, but there was just times in that fight where I thought, fucking hit him. You would never hold that back. And he just didn't let it go.
Different sport.
Completely. Really quickly back onto him and Khabib, right? This is how stupid I am. I was adamant he was going to beat Khabib. And I mean adamant. Adamant.
No.
This is how dumb I am, right? Because I didn't,
He'd have to knock him out like he did to...
Aldo, right?
Aldo,
but I knew who Khabib was. I don't know that much about the UFC, but I like it. But at the time, I was a very, very big Conor McGregor fan, and I thought he's going to smoke him. He's talking a big game. I didn't really know much about Khabib. I'd seen some of his fights where he just mauled people, and then when the bell went, and then sort of Khabib started to take control, I thought, holy fuck, what have I got myself into here? Haven't I got to eat my hat? This is going to be a nightmare. He is. When I watched Khabib, that was the first fight I ever watched him live and proper. It shocked me to the core how animalistic that man is.
He grew up fighting bears, man.
I know he is the ultimate, for lack of a better term, fighter. If I had to fight, like, if they said to me tomorrow, you need to go and fight Khabib, I would politely say, "Where's the gun? Get Chris Kyle to shoot me."
Yeah, I loved it when he had McGregor and he's smashing his face. He's like, "Let's talk now. Let's talk."
Yeah. Let's talk. Bus can't smash back. Let's talk.
I mean, you don't want to fuck with a guy.
Do you know what? At the bit, I watch a lot of that stuff now, like on Reels and shit that pops up on Instagram, and you see that bit where he goes, "Tomorrow night I'm gonna smash your boy, guys." I love that. It's so exciting. I'll smash your boy. I'm gonna smash your boy.
I love the one where he's like, "Let's wrestle," and Conor's like, "Yeah, let's wrestle." He's like, "Yeah, let's wrestle," and then they're talking about like wrestling. He's like, "I smash you. Let's wrestle. Let's go." And Conor's like, "Yeah, well, you want wrestle? You'll wrestle with my fist out of your orbital bone." And that did not happen at all.
No, not fucked. Yeah, orbital bone. They're fucked. Well, boys, that's been pleasant. I've I enjoy your company. Unbelievably enough, I think it's nice talking to you two.
Yeah, some people you just don't enjoy, but you know, let's go right.
Correct again. Correcting. Ding 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 ding. I reckon we reconvene in the next day or so, Tommy. Let's talk Prem. Let's talk all things round 2. Let's talk all things round 3. Liverpool v Chelsea. Watch out, guys. Liverpool v Chelsea. Andrew, your Tottenham won. The Dirty Pirates scored again, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. Penalty.
But, my Newcastle were fucking
How much time have we got in the next one? Because I've got a lot to talk about Liverpool.
Oh, well, we can just have a bit of a chin wag, have a bit of a chat, see how we're going. I've got a story to tell you about my COVID vaccine as well, but I'll tell you that at another time.
Oh, are you feeling the 5G towers are connecting with you?
Well, funnily enough, I looked down and my penis had grown 5.5 inches, right? And I thought to myself, holy fuck, now I've got 5 3/4 inches penis. This is the best day of my life. So, that's it. Well, boys, thanks for your time. I'll talk to you later.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
And farewell.